Good evening, lacrosse fans, and welcome to the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena for game number 2 of the Major Series Lacrosse semifinal series between the Six Nations Pro-Fit Chiefs and the Oakville Rock. Another hot night here in Six Nations as these two teams go at it for the third night in 3 games, or fourth time in 4 games. Got confused on that. You have to remember those final 2, that last home and home set between these two teams to finish off the regular season. Chiefs off to the start here. And there's a shot. That's stopped by Nick Rose. Nick Rose, your starting goaltender for the Oakville Rock tonight. And down to the other end, Dougie Jamieson, who has that ball bounced right off his shin pad. Here's a shot, he scores! Randy Stotts. End-to-end action to start this game. Both teams with plenty of opportunity. One on O breakaways, both ends of the floor. And Randy Stotts, who returns from a minor injury and was out in game 1, comes back with a vengeance and buries it past Nick Rose to give the Chiefs a 1-0 lead less than 1 minute into this one. And like I said, Rose in goal for the Rock tonight. He was in net for game 1 in a 36 save effort against the Chiefs in a losing cause as the Chiefs went on to win game 1 of the series 8-5 on Monday night. On Thursday, last week. Jamieson with a 45 shot effort, or 45 save shot effort. He was outstanding in that game, and there's another save off the shoulder this time of Jamieson. Jamieson, one of those players that loves playoff time. We all know about his playoff prowess for the Six Nations. There's a shot and a goal. And just like that, we're tied at 1 off the stick of Johnny Powless. Powless all alone up top, and he sneaks it over his former Six Nations Arrows teammate over the shoulder. Heck of a start to this one so far. Both teams exchanging goals, exchanging opportunities as Johnny Powless ties this one up at 1-1. Tyson Bomberry wins the draw as the Chiefs regain possession here. 18-24 to go in the first period, and we already got 2 goals. One apiece as Durston loses the ball. And Fennell regains. He's on the right side. Fennell, there's a shot. Stopped by the shoulder of Rose as he looks to pass long distance. Rose finds Challen Rogers. Rogers with the shot, and he scores. Challen Rogers picking the corner on Dougie Jamieson. That one started down at the other end, and a beautiful stop by Nick Rose. Corrals it, and a long distance pass and off the fast break. And in transition, Challens makes it 2-1. Nick Rose with the ball behind the net as he's looking for space here. The Rock regain possession here. Up at center of the floor. That's Q. Out to Van Galen. Van Galen, he sees Q racing towards the middle. Couldn't get the pass across as the loose ball picked up by the Chiefs, and that's Brody Merrill. Comes up the floor and dumps it all the way back for Craig Point. Randy Stotts, he's got the game's first goal. There's a shot just wide of the net. as it bounces all the way back and Kyle Jackson recovers. Jackson, long distance pass intended for Tyson Bell as he had a pair of Oakville Rock defenders on top of him and he couldn't get the ball as the Rock recover and saunter up to the offensive end up the left side. Jeremy Noble looking to shoot. That caroms off the back of the leg of Van Galen. As a loose ball behind the Chiefs' net is won by Billy D. Smith. Billy D. Smith, one of those defenders for the Chiefs that really needs to get the physical presence going. As the Chiefs get up here. Durston to Stotts. Stotts. There's a shot. Off the stick of Frank Brown. And it goes wide as the Rock recover and are on the fast break. There's a shot to stop by Dougie Jamieson. It's almost like a horse race right now. The two teams exchanging fast breaks. Transition really key to this series as both teams bolstered with plenty of offense, but they're very, very effective in that transition game. And you see that early going as Cody Jamieson tries to wheel and deal his way. There's a shot. And held on by the left glove of Nick Rose on that one. Both teams with very potent offenses, but again, like we were saying, it's all about transition so far as the Rock into the offensive set. Here's a pass intended for Jeremy Noble as it gets dumped into the corner and picked up by McKay, or by David Brock, sorry. Kyle Jackson now with it on the right side. He goes up the middle. He goes across the floor. Craig Point tries to look for Quinn Palace, but couldn't find him on that one. As the Rock run up feverishly up the floor. That's Josh Jubenville, the former Six Nations Arrow. Whistles it above his old teammate over the shoulder as we've got ourselves a foot race. Tyson Bell all alone. He shoots it. He scores. Tyson Bell. A little bit of a track meet on that series. As the ball caroms off the boards all the way down, and Tyson Bell outrunning his Oakville Rock counterpart and putting it past Rose. And we've got ourselves a 2-2 game in the early going here at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Thanks for joining us here. Major Series Lacrosse semifinal action. Thanks for joining us. Daryl Smart here on the microphone. My buddy Eric Haight on the camera tonight, filling in for our intern Tristan Frank, who's away on vacation. A shout out also to Spencer Tangway, who's in Whitby refereeing the Ontario Lacrosse Association Festival. He had a late game and couldn't make it to the ILA tonight. And there's another shot by Noble and a butterfly save by Jamieson. The Chiefs regain possession up into the Rock zone. Randy Stotts goes across the floor to Fennell. Fennell weaving his magic around the right side, trying to get away from a defender. There's a shot by Stotts. That looked to be off the back of an Oakville Rock defender and over into the stands, and a Chiefs possession. Quinn Palace with the shot, easily handled by Rose, and a rebound recovered by his teammates as they move up the floor. Challen Rogers, their first goal scorer for the Rock, tries the bounce shot and bounces over the head of Dougie Jamieson into the crowd as the Rock regain possession here. Van Galen, he's got it on the left side. Van Galen with a one-on-one matchup spins off his defender and tries to get the ball to Palace. Palace dumps it back. There's a shot by Brandon Slade, easily handled by Jamison, as Tyson Bell, the last goal scorer for the Chiefs, holds on to the ball and waits for a wholesale change on offense. 12:34 remaining here at first period. Six Nations Chiefs 2, Oakville Rock 2. Thanks for joining us for Game 2 of the Best of 7 Major Series Lacrosse semifinal series between these two teams. The Oakville Rock come over the center of the floor as they get ready for their offensive set. That's Bridle. Bridle draws a couple defenders. There's a shot and a save by Jamison off the stick of Alex Krepedzik. A beautiful play there by the Rock as Brian Cole and the Six Nations Chiefs come back into transition. But what a beautiful give and go play down to the other end by the Rock to draw two defenders in. And Krepedzik all alone and foiled by Jamison. Brian Cole with another shot, stopped easily by Rose as the ball goes loose into the corner. Loose ball won by the Rock and recovered. Rogers out to Jeremy Noble. To Craig. Craig spinning off a defender. There's a shot off a defender and into the corner as the Chiefs recover. Brody Merrill, he's got numbers here in transition. Brody Merrill, who joined the Chiefs late in the season. There's a shot by Cody Jamison that just whistles to the right of Nick Rose's stick as it bounces over the glass, and we have a stoppage in play and a change of possession with 2:50 remaining here in the first period. Van Galen, he's up top. He sees Andrew Q, who draws a defender. Q, twister shot, bounces over to the head of Jamison and into the mesh, and a lucky Six Nations Chiefs fan appears to be running into the hallway to get that loose ball as a souvenir as his Chiefs go into the offensive zone for their set. Durston dances into the corner, out to Fennell. Fennell works his way in. He saw a hole and couldn't get it past Rose as Jackson hit from behind. And now into the corner, there's another mix-up. This time, Magnum tangling up with Quinn Palace. Randy Stotts with it up the middle. There's a shot and he scores! Randy Stotts making his presence felt early in this one. That's 2 for Stotts. As the Chiefs move ahead at the halfway point here in the first period, 3-2. Randy Stotts, like we said from the start of the broadcast, was out in game 1 with an injury. I know he was texting me during the game trying to get a stream of the game. I know Cogeco Cable was doing the game, but there was nothing live online. And he was wanting to watch his mates from the comfort of his own home, but couldn't. But he's come back in a hurry with a pair of goals to start his playoffs on the 2018 campaign. Tyson Bomberry, the rookie, has been very, very effective in the faceoff dot so far. And another win by Tyson Bomberry in the faceoff dot. As the Chiefs get possession, 9:33 remaining, and the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs holding on to a 3-2 lead. Craig Point whistles it. Beats Rose and couldn't beat the crossbar on that one. Craig Point, one of the hardest shots in the league by far. He moved that net a good 2 inches after ringing it off the crossbar. Nick Rose had to get that big paw of his to move it back into position. Stotts now with it. Back past the point. Point, quick pass to Brown, who is stopped. A beautiful stop by Nick Rose there off the stick of Frankie Brown, as the Chiefs really working the ball nicely, but couldn't fool Nick Rose on that one. As the Chiefs defense go to work here, Billy D. Smith on the steal. Great end-to-end action here to start the first period. Game 2 of Major Series Lacrosse semifinal. As Kyle Jackson, he looks up the middle. There's a shot from up top, and he scores. Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson, all sorts of room, goes up the middle and finds an opening to put it down low past Nick Rose, and the Chiefs now lead by a pair with the score of 4-2. Kyle Jackson, a fantastic season with the Chiefs. After coming back after that National Lacrosse League final series appearance with the Rochester Nighthawks. Jackson with 10 goals, 14 assists in the regular season, and that's his first goal of the postseason, as the Chiefs lose the ball in the corner and recovered by the Rock as they look to get a wholesale change here on the offense. Van Galen, he's watched closely by McKay, and now Merrill. And there's a shot by Dallas Bridle off the shoulder of Jamison, and another rebound recovered by the Rock. The Rock doing a fantastic job so far of getting those offensive loose balls. Rock working the ball around up the middle. Van Galen now with it. Van Galen, he's met by a pair of Chiefs. And there's a shot off the stick of Dan Craig. Van Galen, handled by a pair of Chiefs defenders, loses the ball. But Dan Craig gets it. And a heavy shot handled by Jamison down the other end. Chiefs attack. That's Randy Stott's shot, handled by Rose and off the official, standing off to the side of the net. Fennell, watch closely. Fennell in top. He goes for the dive in, but couldn't get it. Loose ball handled by the Rock. Brad Gillies now with it. Off to Noble. Noble watched closely by Billy D. Williams. Or Billy D. Smith, sorry. Can't believe I just said that, but as a loose ball goes into the corner and Tyson Bell recovers. Don't say that often. Kyle Jackson now has it on the right side. 5:58 remaining. There's Kyle Jackson looking for another, and handled by the stick of Nick Rose. Kyle Jackson and the Chiefs playing catch around the perimeter here. Cody Jamison looking for something. Spins off a defender, spins off another. Jamison, tons of poise there. There's a shot by Point. Handled by Rose, and the loose ball recovered. And a nice little scrum about just above him as his Oakville Rock teammates recover and get into the offensive set. There's a shot handled by Jamison. Loose ball recovered by Brian Cole as he's got numbers. A 3-on-3 matchup here. Merrill holds on and opts for the new fresh set as Randy Stotts charges in. Randy Stotts trying to impose his will. There's a shot just wide of the net as Stotts gets it again, and another shot just wide. Durston now. Durston spins off the defender. There's a shot. That just goes wide as he tangles with a trio of Oakville Rock defenders as we've got a little bit of the rough stuff. And it was funny talking to cameraman Eric Haight before the game about the rough stuff. And of course, it's only game 2 of the series and a best of 7 series. Not thinking there'd be a lot, but of course, these two teams, this, like we said from the start, this is the 4th game in 4 games that these two teams have played against each other. So obviously no love lost between them. As it looks like we've got coincidental penalties as the officials, Nurse and Ferguson, on the one-on-one conference call in front of the penalty box. We'll hear from public address announcer Rod Mahood to see what these penalties are. 4:43 remaining here in the first period. Daryl Smart on the microphone along with Eric Haight on the camera. Thank you for joining us live and online on YouTube. Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs Lacrosse on YouTube. There's a shot and a save. Rebound, scores! As we're listening to the offsetting penalties, Rogers and Durston for roughing. A great offensive set by the Rock. As I believe that was Dallas Bridle with the shot, initially handled by Dougie Jamieson, who spun around, didn't know where the ball was. And Johnny on the spot, Johnny Paulus, grabs the ball and he scores his second of the game. As there's a little bit of a reception for Johnny Paulus after his name announced after that goal. 4-3, 4:18 remaining here in the first period. Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs holding on to the 1-goal lead against the Oakville Rock here from the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you very much to Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation for always sponsoring these streams. There's a shot by Van Galen, handled by Jamieson. But Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation, we can't thank them enough for their generosity and support of Six Nations Chiefs Lacrosse live and online and on tape delay if that's your choice by watching after the game, because every game is archived, of course. And there's a shot by Jackson, handled by Nick Rose. But we can't thank Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation enough for their support of our web streams this season. There's a shot off of a Chiefs defender and almost bounces in past Jamieson. That one off the stick of James Barclay. Fennell now with it. All the way back to Randy Stotts. Quinn Paulus. Paulus whistles that one off the just wide of the shoulder of Nick Rose as Fennell with another hack at it. There's a shot, tries the bounce shot and thought he saw a hole, but bounced it right over the net and over to the glass as the Rock recover and get ready. There's a shot handled by Jamieson off the stick of Jeremy Noble. Both players out of the penalty box here. We're back to 5-on-5 action. It's Quinn Paulus now up to Stotts. Stotts spins off a defender. Out to Jackson. Jackson underhand shot just wide. As it bounces up top, and it'll be a Rock possession, and Jordan Magnuson with the ball, who tosses it out to Challen Rogers as he goes to the bench. There's a shot by Q. Almost fooled Jamieson on that one. And a little bit of a breakdancing maneuver by Jamieson, who had to spin on his butt to recover the loose ball as his defenseman grab it. and the Chiefs are on the offense. 2 minutes remaining. There's a shot by Frankie Brown and handled by the shoulder of Rose. There's a hack by Fennell, but nothing doing on that one as Mitch Desnew held on to the ball and passes it to Van Galen. Van Galen spins off the defender, finds Q. Q back to Van Galen, sorry. Van Galen. There's a shot from the top, handled by the big stick of Dougie Jamieson, who was absolutely brilliant in game one and kept the Chiefs into the game. And a charging Oakville Rock team. Whistle blown by official Ferguson with 1:10 remaining here in the first period. Rock with the possession of the ball. Minute 10 remaining here in the first period. Chiefs up by 1, 4-3 here at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Jeremy Noble up the middle. Out to Palace. Palace looks to pass. He sees Brandon Slade but couldn't get it to him. But the loose ball, of course, recovered by the Rock. Rock doing a great job of that so far in this first period. Getting those offensive loose balls. As that one, just as a loose ball comes and the Chiefs recover. Craig Point tries the hidden ball trick, but everybody in the building knows that number 88, Cody Jamieson, has it. He tosses it back to Stotts, who has a pair of defenders get it. Off the effort. And there's a shot by Jason Noble and a save by Jamieson. Is Jason Noble with a fantastic defensive play down at one end and goes down on the fast break with Challen Rogers down on the other. Did everything but score on that one as Leo Sturris now draws a trio of Rock players as he shoots the ball down on Nick Rose. And we've got ourselves our second scrum of the game to end the first period. Wow, what a fantastic first period of action. And again, very close 20 minutes of action as the Rock edge the Chiefs in shots in that one. 20 shots to 19. And after 20 minutes, the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs hold on to a 4-3 lead. We will be back with more action live and online when the Six Nations when the second period returns. Well, welcome back, lacrosse fans, to period number 2 here at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena, where the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs hold on to a 4-3 edge over the Oakville Rock after 20 minutes. Chiefs get possession of the ball off the draw as Brian Cole dumps it out to Cody Jamieson as he goes to the bench. That first 20 minutes, the Oakville Rock out in front in the shots department. 29, there's a shot by Stotts that just goes wide as Jackson recovers the loose ball. Another loose ball recovered this time by the Oakville Rock as the Oakville Rock out shooting the Chiefs in that first period 20-19, and a very fast pace opening 20 minutes as we head into period number 2. Ball recovered by the Chiefs as McKay now has it as he waits for the rest of his teammates to get onto the floor in offense. Jamieson goes across the floor to Quinn Pallas. Pallas up the middle. There's a shot and off the mush. Wow. Nick Rose doesn't even flinch on that one. That one hit him square between the eyes. And now Craig Point now off to Kyle Jackson. Jackson, shot just wide of the net. There's still no movement by Nick Rose, who took that last shot off the mush. Cody Jamieson up the middle. There's a shot. That one whistles just past the ear of Nick Rose as he recovers the ball and dumps it off to a defender. Challen Rogers, who opened the scoring for the Rock tonight, dumps it off to Johnny Pallas, who has 2. Dan Craig spins off the pick made by Johnny Pallas, spins off another shot, and handled right into the logo on the chest of Dougie Jamieson. Shane Simpson races up the floor, opts to dump off and go to the bench. Randy Stotts now up the left side. Stotts passes it out to Durston. Durston off a defender. Durston's shot, that one whistles wide of Rose as the loose ball picked up by James Barclay. Barclay now with it. He's got numbers. There's a shot and he scores. James Barclay. Fantastic play by Barclay, who goes end to end off the loose ball down to the other end. Races down on a 3-on-2 and hammers it home just past Dougie Jamieson, and we're tied again now at 4. Wow, what a shot by Barclay as he whistled that one. Barclay whistled that one right by Jamieson. As we're all tied up here, Tyson Bomberry with the win off the draw as Ian McKay almost decapitated off that one as the official's arm goes up on a delayed call, and Dougie Jamieson goes to the bench in favor of an extra attacker. Stotts up top. Stotts behind his back to Point. Point, the Jackson shot whistles off the crossbar. As the whistle blows, and Justin Martin, nope, not Justin Martin, sorry. Challen Rogers trots to the penalty box on the delayed call, and the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs now go on the power play for 2 minutes. Jamieson up top. Shot handled by the glove of Nick Rose as a loose ball in the crease area. Nick Rose all the way down as he sees Brad Gillies, but the fast break thwarted by a trio of Chiefs defenders. And there's a shot by Andrew Crew, who wastes that one into the corner and over the glass and into the possession of the Chiefs as Brian Cole dances over center of the floor and hands it over to the Cody Jamieson. Hidden ball trick. Almost fooled me on that one. There's a shot by Stotts, handled by Nick Rose, and a great rebound control up, out to his stick, and all the way out to Mitch DeSnew, who goes one-on-one with McKay. DeSnew now draws two defenders, still with the ball, trying to kill off the penalty. DeSnew, a great job of killing that penalty into the Chiefs' end as he dumps it off to Brandon Slade. Q with the bounce shot from long distance, easily handled by Jamieson, as 28 seconds remain in the power play as the Chiefs regain possession of the ball into the offensive area. Jamieson up top to Stotts. Chiefs work the ball around. Off a defender. There's a pass. Oh, a beautiful pass by Jamieson to his old buddy Craig Point, who almost got the quick stick and couldn't get it on net as Kyle Jackson and Jason Noble tangle it up. A nice National Lacrosse League rivalry there with Noble and Jackson tangling with each other. As we've got coincidental penalties coming up. No coincidental penalties on that one. Jackson with the lone penalty there for the Chiefs. Jackson on the initial play took the helmet of Noble off, and that is why he is into the penalty box for 2 minutes, as the Rock only have 7 seconds remaining in their penalty, and they will go on to the power play. Great crowd on hand here at the ILA for Game 2 of the Major Series Lacrosse semifinal in this best-of-7 series between the Oakville Rock and the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs. Game 1 last week was in Oakville, and the Chiefs came out on top of that one, 8-5, in part by a great goaltending effort on the part of Dougie Jamieson, who has been sharp tonight again for the Chiefs. Rock move the ball around the perimeter, and there's a shot, and that one goes wide as the Chiefs get possession of the ball. And there's Brody Merrill on the break. Brody Merrill beats Rose, but couldn't beat two posts as Merrill rings it off the crossbar and then the post. Wow, great opportunity there by Merrill, but couldn't beat the goal post and the crossbar on that one. Chiefs with the shot. That's Fennell, who goes wide as the ball caroms off the boards and bounces all the way down to the other end. As the Oakville Rock will get possession of this one. 14:07 remaining here in the second period. The Rock working the ball around the perimeter. There's a shot by Q off the post as he makes Dougie Jamieson dance around as his teammates recover the loose ball just underneath his feet. Ian McKay now looks for Randy Stotts as he goes to the bench. Stotts now on the left side along the boards. He's being closely watched by James Barclay. As the shot clock close to expires, Stotts with the shot. And now a loose ball battle into the corner to the left of Nick Rose, recovered by the Rock. Dan Craig now with it up the right side. He sees Johnny Palace, who dumps it off to Q. Q's shot handled by the glove of Jamieson as another loose ball on the offensive end recovered by the Oakville Rock. There's a shot. He scores. Jeremy Noble has plenty of time on that one. And Jeremy Noble almost worked the horseshoe himself. Trots around the perimeter of the offensive end and shoots the ball, and it looks like it hit Dougie Jameson, but caroms into the net, and now the Oakville Rock lead 5-4. Great effort there by Jeremy Noble on that one, giving the Rock a 1-goal lead now with 12:40 remaining in the second period. Just a shade. Rock moving around the perimeter. There's a shot. Loose ball out. David Brock not knowing where the ball was. But the ball goes into the corner now, bounces behind the Rock net. As the Rock recover, there's Mitch Desnew with a 1v1 matchup against Bell. Desnew now with it, dumps it off to Palace. As Desnew, go with a great individual effort, heads to the bench after that. Noble, across the floor, intercepted by Tyson Bell, who is all alone. Tyson Bell all alone, but Noble gets it. And a strange series of events on that one as Tyson Bell loses the ball. Jeremy Noble recovers, and the ball just bounces all over the place, and the Oakville Rock recover. Dan Craig off the defender up top. That's Bridle. He's in the corner. He sees Q. Q from up top. There's a shot from a long distance, handled by Jameson. Rebound. A long rebound recovered by the Rock. There's a shot by Johnny Powless, who again beats Jameson, but this time couldn't beat the post. Johnny Powless almost with his third of the night. Van Galen goes across the floor. Out to Dan Craig. Dan Craig with a 1-on-1 matchup. Goes behind his back. Pass intended for Q, but nothing doing on that one as the Chiefs recover. And Brody Merrill walks up the floor as he waits for his teammates to get into the offensive set. Frankie Brown up top. Out to Jameson. Jameson spins off a defender. He's looking inside. Pass intended for Brown, but couldn't find him. The Rock recover and now cross over the line. Try to get into transition, but a loose ball recovered by Tyson Bell. Tyson Bomberry now with it. He holds on, and Cody Jameson now with it up top. Jameson with the shot from up top. Handled by Nick Rose as a pair of Rock players go chasing a loose ball. But Dougie Jameson recovers and hands it off to Cole. Quinn Palace now with it. He goes across the floor. Stotts spins off a defender, trying to spin off another, goes behind his back, out to Palace. Palace in the corner, behind his back, there's a pass intended for Durston, who almost got a stick on it, and he whistles that loose ball and at the net and couldn't find it. 9 minutes, 5 seconds remaining here in the second period. Daryl Smart here on the microphone. Eric Height on the camera with me, filling in for our intern Tristan Frank as we bring you Six Nations Chiefs Lacrosse live and online on YouTube. Thanks for joining us as The Rock with another opportunity. And the big boot of Dougie Jamieson stopping that one. Shane Simpson on the fast break here. Simpson looking for the pass inside, intended for Jackson, but couldn't find him. Jackson really feisty tonight as he and Jeremy Noble go at it, while the action is down to the other end. Oakville now has it. That's Brandon Slade. He goes into the corner. There's a quick shot that just goes wide off the stick of Dan Craig as the loose ball comes to Leo Sturis. Briar Jonathan now with it. He looks for an offensive player as he goes to the bench. That's Eric Fennell with it. Tries to spin off a defender. Craig Point now with it. He has that heavy shot and he whistles it just wide of Nick Rose. 7:47 here remaining in the second period. Oakville Rock holding on to a 5-4 lead here at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena, as they are into the offense here. That's Noble. He goes across the floor, intended for Johnny Palace, but the pass bounces wide and into the stick of the Six Nations Chiefs. That's David Brock, who loves to run the floor. He's got it now. Cody Jamieson trying to bull his way off a pair of defenders. He finds Quinn Palace, who is all alone but couldn't get his stick on the ball as the Rock come racing down. And there's a shot. Wow. Off the stick of Jason Noble. And that one makes a nice sound off the goalpost after beating Dougie Jamieson. The Rock now with it. They are over half. Andrew Koo, he steps up the middle, looks to pass. Then he shoots. And that one goes off of the shin pad of Dougie Jamieson and almost hits the referee into the corner. Rock again recover and work around the horn. Q spins off. Q again up top, and he looks for Palace but couldn't find him. Palace with a huge hack on Shane Simpson as Fennell and Palace go at it now. As Shane Simpson has the ball and Johnny Palace and Eric Fennell. Fennell, someone fed him something nasty for breakfast and supper because, wow, he has been in a mood tonight. Randy Stotts with it. Short shot handled by the stick of Rose. Mitch Desnu now with it. He goes up the middle to Van Galen. Van Galen opts to hold on to it and wait for his teammates to get onto the floor. That's Noble with it. He dumps it down to the corner. Slade. There's a shot. He whistles that one up top. That one's well wide of Jamieson off the glass and all the way down to the other end as there's a stop in the action and goaltenders are going to the players' benches for a drink of water as we have a break in the action here. Once again, thanks for joining us. Six Nations Chiefs Lacrosse live and online here on YouTube. Can't thank you enough for joining us. Daryl Smart here on the microphone. Eric Height on the camera filling in as we've got game 2 here of the Major Series Lacrosse semifinal series between the Oakville Rock and the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs. And again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation, for their amazing support of Six Nations Chiefs Lacrosse online. And all season long, they've been a huge booster to the webcast. And these webcasts would not be brought to you live and for free if it weren't for them. And we thank Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation for that. because of their efforts, we've got people from Ohio, from Oklahoma, New York State, all over New York, the Bronx, British Columbia. Thank you for joining us, as always. And tonight, looks like we've got some more from all over North America as we bring you Major Series Lacrosse playoff action live and online. The Oakville Rock working the ball into the offensive area. That's Challen Rogers with it. He dumps it down. Q, his shot. Look, Q saw top corner of the net wide open, but Dougie Jamison shrugs his shoulder and makes the save. Quinn Palace now with it. Out to Jackson. Jackson's shot bounces off the glass and into the stands as a lucky fan gets a souvenir. Quinn Palace now with it into the corner. Quick stick opportunity, and Fennell stopped by the stick of Nick Rose. That was a fantastic reaction save by Rose on that one. Mitch DeSnews spinning off a defender as he dumps it out to Johnny Palace. Palace, he sees Dan Craig, but nothing doing on that one. There's another shot by Q, handled by Jamison. Brody Merrill, he's met by Dan Craig behind the net as he races it up the boards and hands it off to Tyson Bell as he goes off to the bench. Jamison, he's in the right corner. Jamison up the middle now. He's looking for some room. Makes some, goes between his legs, underhanded, and gets the shot on net, but doesn't fool Nick Rose. We've got Josh Jubenville and Tyson Bell exchanging words and sticks to the face in front of Nick Rose. 3 minutes remaining here in the second period. Thanks again for joining us online and live as the Oakville Rock with a shot and a save by Dougie Jamison. That's Rogers. His shot easily handled by Jamison. And another pass out to Q, who couldn't get his stick on it, as the loose ball is now juggled by Dougie Jamison. Brian Cole steps over the center of the floor here, but he's met by Luke Magnum. And now Stotts with it. He goes up the middle, spins off the defender. Randy Stotts, he sees Jackson, but couldn't find him, but Fennell gets the ball. Fennell's ball bounces off a pair of boards, and over the glass is Sturos. Is met by Bill Hostrauser, and they exchange pleasantries at the center of the floor. Rock now with it into the Chiefs' end. That's Van Galen with it. He's met by Tyson Bomberry. Van Galen spins off Bomberry. Still with it. Ball bounces off. There's a loose ball. And that one's going to be won by Craig. Jeremy Noble now with it. There's a shot by Van Galen and a save by Dougie Jamison as he gets a hand from the crowd here at the ILA with that beautiful stop. 1:24 remaining here in the second period. The Oakville Rock holding on to a 1-goal lead as they have a 5-4 advantage over the Six Nations Pro-Fit Chiefs here in game number 2 of the best-of-7 Major Series Lacrosse semifinal. There's a shot by Cody Jamison and handled by Rose. Rose really doing a great job on controlling those rebounds and getting a hold of them. And doing so, giving his teammates an opportunity to get into transition and on that fast break just like that. There's a shot from Noble up into the grill of Jamison. as Brian Cole recovers that rebound, and Jamison shakes the cobwebs out of his mask on that one. As Cole now has it and is a 1v1 matchup up the middle. Randy Stotts now matched up, tries to spin off a defender. He finds Fennell. Fennell loses it. As the Rock go on the fast break, and Jeremy Noble with a glorious opportunity. Jeremy Noble robbed by the pad of Dougie Jamison. Dougie Jamison had to squeeze the apple there between his legs as Noble goes right down, but couldn't beat Jamison on that one as the Chiefs, with 8.6 remaining in this second period, call the timeout. Again, while we have a break, we'd like again to thank Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation for being a generous supporter of Six Nations Chiefs Lacrosse, live and online here on YouTube. And again, thank you for joining us. Without you and our sponsors, this would not be possible. Great end-to-end action at both ends of the floor as the Oakville Rock holding on to a 5-4 lead here with 8.6 seconds remaining in the second period. And the Chiefs, it looks like Kyle Jackson will have the ball and start the run. Jackson running up the middle, keeps it for himself, and he just whistles it, beating Nick Rose, but again couldn't beat the post, as that's the end of 40 minutes as the Oakville Rock lead the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs 5-4. And in that period, Six Nations Chiefs with 12 shots and the Oakville Rock with 20. Thanks again for joining us, and we will be back for third period action when it begins in a moment. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back, lacrosse fans, for period number 3 here in game number 2 of the best of 7 Major Series Lacrosse semifinal series between the Six Nations Pro-Fit Chiefs and the Oakville Rock. After 40 minutes of play, the Rock holding on to a 1-goal lead as they hold on to a 5-4 edge over their Major Series Lacrosse rival. The Rock recover off the draw here and into the offensive set for the first series of period number 3. Jeremy Noble out of the corner and up top. Attempted pass for Dan Craig, but couldn't find him as Brian Cole is hacked by Noble and is met by Billy D. Smith along the boards. Brian Cole shaking his hand. As Cole goes to the bench, and you can hear Chiefs head coach Rich Kilgore yelling at the officials. Not the first time this season he's done that, but this time yelling over. He broke his stick. Noble taking a swat at Cole's stick, and he'll be going to the bench or the penalty box, for 2 minutes for slashing. Sorry, we're a little distracted up here in the media booth. We're having a good chuckle about the DJ playing the Toronto Rock theme song as the Oakville Rock jumped onto the floor for period number 3. I guess a little hometown, or a little visiting, a little welcome home cooking for the visiting team at the ILA. Chiefs recover that Rock effort as Jackson saunters up the floor and into the offensive set here out on the right side. Jackson to Jamieson, out to Stotts. Stotts open, out to Jamieson. Back to Stotts. There's a shot handled by the shoulder of Rose as Dan Craig is met by a pair of Chiefs as they get the loose ball. Quinn Pallas, the recipient of that loose ball, as they regain possession with 47 seconds remaining here on the power play. Chiefs with the man advantage. There's Fennell out to Stotts. To Frankie Brown. Brown curls around up top. Back to Stotts. There's a shot and he scores. Randy Stotts with his third of the game. Get your hats out, folks. That's 3 for Mr. Randy Stotts. Wow. Chiefs move the ball well on that power play. And Stotts, you give a guy like that much room, and he's not going to make no mistake with a quick release and throwing it past the pad of Nick Rose, and we've got ourselves a tie game here at 5-5. Great effort by Stotts on that one. As like we said from the beginning of the show, this is his first game of the postseason after sitting out game 1 with an injury, just a minor bump. As the Rock move the ball and try and have a response here. Craig out to Van Galen. Van Galen's shot, and he beats Dougie Jamieson. Van Galen scores. Initially looked like Dougie Jamieson had it, but he couldn't squeeze the apple as Van Galen shoots the ball between the legs and squeezes it through the legs of Jamieson, and the Oakville Rock take another 1-goal lead at 6-5. Van Galen showing great hands and great patience on that one. Taking great patience as he beats the defender with the double pump, creates some space for himself, and tucks it home past Jamison. Got a couple goals here early in the third period as the Oakville Rock get back on top at 6-5 with 17-11 remaining here in the third period. Draw won by the Chiefs. David Brock recovering the Lucy as Kyle Jackson now has it. Jackson dancing. Goes into the corner for point, but the ball bounces. Randy Stotts recovers. Randy Stotts gets a pick from point on that one as Stotts draws a pair of defenders as he loses the ball, and Quinn Pallas and Stotts trying to fight for it against a pair of Oakville Rock defenders. And behind the play there, Stotts met up by Mitch DeSnew as a couple of blows onto the ground, a little bit of UFC action down on the floor at the ILA between DeSnew and Randy Stotts. You can really tell it's playoff action. The intensity is really, really steeped up a heck of a lot more than last Tuesday night here at the ILA when these same two teams played. We could call it a snoozer, I guess. We could call it a snoozer of a game where both teams really went through the motions. We even played straight time. It was something right out of a house league game, playing straight time for 60 minutes, where the clock didn't stop at all. But as expected, these two teams have pumped up the volume here in the intensity world as Noble finds a teammate up the middle. That was Slade, but couldn't find the mark as Shane Simpson has it and opts to hold back for Cody Jamison and company. Jamison, one hand on his stick, off a defender. Out to point. Point streaks into the shot, and a stop by Nick Rose. And the big right hand of Nick Rose deflects that one into the corner and over the glass. Frankie Brown now with it. Twister shot stopped by Rose as his teammates recover. Josh Jubinville out to Dallas Bridle as Bridle holds on and drops it back to Noble. Noble to Johnny Pallas. Pallas, one hand on the stick, drops it back. There's a shot and a beautiful save by Jamison off the stick of Dallas Bridle. Bridle all alone in the goal mouth area. But Jamison thwarts the effort as Jeremy Noble now has it up top. Jeremy Noble dancing around on the right side, looking to pass. Was looking for Bridle but couldn't find it as the ball dances into the corner. As Brian Cole stares at the ball as David Brock and Bill Hostrauser, exchange pleasantries in the high sticks. Kyle Jackson out to Fennell. Fennell loses it but regains it. Fennell finds a pick. Fennell into the corner. Fennell behind his back. He tries to find Quinn Pallas but couldn't get a stick on it. Loose ball behind the Rock net as Quinn Pallas gets a stick on it into the crease area as it's blown down. Talking about all the great people watching live and online right now, we'd like to give a special shout out to probably the one person that is watching this game from the longest distance. All the way from Australia. All the way from Australia. Sorry, is the train of thought. Is stopped by a second here, sorry. But Brooke in Australia, thank you for joining us. Thanks for tuning in live and online. Fantastic to hear from people all over North America and now all over the world watching this one. So thanks for joining us, and thanks to everyone else for joining us. And thanks to Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation for making it possible and allowing us to have this broadcast online free of charge. 13-13 remaining here in the third period. Oakville Rock holding on to a 6-5 lead over the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs as Jeremy Noble tries to spin off of Briar Jonathan, but Jonathan not letting him in. Noble loses the ball but recovers it into the corner. Noble finds Slade, but Slade couldn't get his stick on it as the Chiefs recover off the loose ball. Chiefs now with a full complement of offensive players here into the set. Randy Stotts double pumps and scores. Randy Stotts make it 4 goals for the number 83, Randy Stotts. Wow. And once again, we are tied now at 6-6. Randy Stotts having a game for himself tonight with 4 goals to lead the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs. He's got all but 2 tonight for his team. 12:22 remaining here in the third period. And we're all tied up here as the Oakville Rock gets set to respond here. That's Van Galen. Out to Noble, he plays catch. Van Galen again. He's met by a defender. Passes it out to Q. Q recovers. There's another shot handled by Dougie Jameson. And there's a shot on the fast break by Shane Simpson. But again, Nick Rose up to the task. The Rock's Challen Rogers now with it. He looks to penetrate inside and is met by a pair of Chiefs as the ball becomes knocked loose as he attempts to dive into the crease area. Loose ball recovered by the Chiefs, and Jordan Durston now with it onto the right side. Durston dancing into the middle. He spins off a defender, finds it to Jackson, who shoots. And handled by Rose, who dumps it all the way down to Jubenville. Jubenville shot. There's a hot shot. And stopped by his former Six Nations Arrows teammate, Dougie Jameson. Fresh offense here for the Chiefs. That's Quinn Pallas with it. He races up to the top. Dumps it off to Stotts. He's got 4 tonight. Pallas with the shot, and that one just goes wide as it grazes the shoulder of Nick Rose. Stotts and Jameson playing catch like they were playing in the backyard as Jameson goes out to the side. Jameson finds Jackson. Jackson with the double pump, but it holds back. Jackson in the corner. Dumps it to Frankie Brown. Frankie Brown is met by a trio of Rock defenders who finds Fennell. Fennell shot! Oh, and what a save by Nick Rose. Wow. What a save on the second effort. Eric Fennell, 2 opportunities and twice stung by the effort of Nick Rose. Nick Rose, what an effort on that. Wow. Initial shot by Fennell. Stopped. Rebound come right to Fennell, and Fennell with a wide open net. And Nick Rose showing a ton of athleticism. Gets that big stick of his over and makes like a roadblock and stops Eric Fennell. Wow. Frank Brown and Jason Noble, after that series of saves by Rose, wow. Remember that one at 10:09 of the third period. That could be the turning point of this one. And a 6-6 draw on Fennell all alone, but couldn't put it home. As Nick Rose with an amazing effort on the second effort. Offsetting penalties here is the Rock. Go to the attack. Challen Rogers with the shot and the save by Jamison. Ian McKay now along the boards. He's met by Jeremy Noble. Tyson Bell now with it. Tyson Bell waits. He sees Randy Stotts. Stotts shot. That one grazes the shoulder of Rose. Mitch Desnu now with it, showing a ton of patience and dumping it off to Johnny Pallas. Pallas checked closely by, funny enough, is Wallaceburg Red Devils Junior B coaching mate, Jordan Durston, as Jordan Durston and Johnny Pallas both coached the Red Devils in the Ontario Junior B Lacrosse League. Funny matchup there. Randy Stotts, he's got 4. He goes across the floor to Jamison. Jamison out to Stotts. Stotts spins off, dumps it intended for Pallas, who recovers the loose ball. Pallas met by a pair of Rock defenders, as it looked like Pallas's foot touched the line, the crease line, in behind the net, as there's a stoppage in play and a change of possession. The Rock in the offensive set here. That's Craig with it. Out to Van Galen. To Q. Q's shot bounces off of David Brock's chin as the loose ball is recovered by Dan Craig. Craig goes all the way long distance as the shot clock expires. Nothing doing on that one as both teams go for a wholesale change. And Kyle Jackson now walks up the floor with it. 8:06 remaining here in the third period. Thanks for joining us. There's Kyle Jackson's shot from up top. And again, Nick Rose with the stop. Thanks for joining us live and online here on YouTube. And again, to Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation for their continued support of Six Nations Chiefs Lacrosse live and online. There's a shot by Jeremy Noble, scores. Wow. Talk about pinpoint precision. Jeremy Noble all alone. As you can see, I can see by the 7-second delay on our feed. But Noble all alone, he looks to pass. And it was almost as if every Chiefs defender followed his eyes. And as soon as he was given that little bit of space, Jeremy Noble tucks it up top corner, where, of course, where Mama hides the cookies, as they say. But boy, Jeremy Noble going top cheddar on that one. Wow. What a shot. Chiefs looking to bounce back here. Stotts gets a face full of stick as he shoots, and Nick Rose handles it and goes all the way down the floor. Tyson Bell recovers. Bell to Jamison. Jamison tries to spin off. Jamison working his magic. Out to Jackson. Full head of steam here. There's a shot. That time by Randy Stotts. As a nice play by Tyson Bell, just taps it back down. As they get a fresh shot clock, and Kyle Jackson with the ball. Stotts again, looking to make something happen, finds Point. Point spins off. The big man, Craig Point shot. Oh! Beats Rose, but can't beat the crossbar. Wow. Craig Point, great individual effort, does everything but put it in. As the Rock come roaring back and try and slip one by Dougie Jamieson, but his stick is there to make that stop. Nick Rose with a couple of huge stops here in the third period. As Cody Jamieson now with it. Jamieson looks to shoot. That one's deflected off a Rock defender. Fennell again. Quick release. That one's off the mark as the Rock rushed down the floor. As Josh Jubenville has it. Jubenville. There's a shot by Slade. There's a bit of an error right there as Brian Cole goes over the shoulder to Jackson, and Jackson clearly 2 feet into the crease. A turnover that you don't really see the Chiefs make all that often, but with that said, the Rock now with the ball. Rock moved the ball. That's Q with it. Q out to Noble. Jeremy Noble. There's a shot. He thought he had an opening again, but this time Jamieson was up to task on that. .509 remaining here in the third period. Randy Stotts in the corner with the ball, one hand on his stick. He gets a pick. Give and go, the Fennell shot. And again, Nick Rose with another beautiful stop. As his teammates come roaring back on the floor. That's Challen Rogers spinning off a defender. Rogers bounces it to Palace, who bounces it to his teammate. Now to Q. Q up top. Q spins off. Leo Storis. Storis matched up nicely against him as Q with the shot and a save by Dougie Jamieson. Chiefs with the ball as they opt to go patient here and get a wholesale change on the offense. Cody Jamieson now with it. He finds Stotts. Stotts and his patented left side off the corner. There's a behind the back pass to Brown, and Brown couldn't connect as he was met by a pair of Oakville Rock defenders as he went diving in, but couldn't get the shot away on Nick Rose. Nice defensive effort there by the Oakville Rock as the Chiefs with a nice give and go play. Jeremy Noble now with it up top. Looks to race down, but stops. Noble to Van Galen. Van Galen's shot. That one hits Jamieson right in the chest as the ball bounces right into the stick of David Brock. 3:24 remaining here in the third period. Oakville Rock holding on to a slim 7-6 lead over the Six Nations Pro Fit Chiefs here at the ILA. Thanks for joining us for game number 2 of the Major Series Lacrosse semifinal in this best-of-7 series between these two teams. Durston with a glorious opportunity, but couldn't get his handle on a stick as Hostrauser is met by Fennell. Rock now into the offensive set. Jeremy Noble up top. Out to Rogers. He finds Q. Q's shot handled by the foot and the stick of Doug Jamieson. 2:37 remaining here in the third period. The Oakville Rock with possession. 24 seconds remaining on the shot clock as Jeremy Noble holds onto the ball. The Oakville Rock using time on their side. As there's a shot by Q knocked by Tyson Bomberry's stick. 2:15 remaining here. As the Chiefs are methodically trying to plan something out here to tie this up. Jackson up the middle. Out to Stotts. Stotts spins around his defender out to Point. Point opts to pass to Jackson, but that one goes loose. 2 seconds remaining on the shot clock, and nothing doing on that series. as a great defensive stance by the Oakville Rock. The Oakville Rock playing a fantastic away game tonight. As there's a shot. He held on to it. Faked us all out here at the ILA. That was Dan Craig. We all thought he shot, but he held back as he waited for his teammates. And again, trying to use the time to his advantage here as the shot clock winds down and a minute 16 remaining in the third period as we've got a stoppage in play. And it looks to be we've got offsetting penalties. Looks like Dan Craig and Tyson Bell can't mistake those locks. Two guys with hair in this league, Tyson Bell and Jake Kranz, two guys that you cannot mistake. And actually, it's funny enough that we mentioned Jake Kranz's name. I did see him in the ILA tonight. He was walking around. He's taking in this one. And, of course, Jake Kranz, a big part of the Chiefs last year and was dealt to the Brampton Excelsiors. Oh, and just as we talk about Jake Kranz, he has just signed with the Rochester Nighthawks. So congratulations to Jake, which is great news. I know a couple of broadcasts ago, we were talking about expansion and him being one of those guys that would be on one of those teams, but no, he is with the Rochester Nighthawks. So congratulations to former Chief and now Brampton Excelsior, Jake Kranz. Mitch Desnew, what an individual effort. Mitch Desnew had defenders all over him. And he looked to score a goal, but right before he released the shot, the Oakville Rock called a timeout with 47.9 seconds remaining. Wow, remember that one. With 47.9 seconds left, Mitch Desnew, he had two Chiefs draped all over him and ends up putting a ball by Dougie Jamieson. But before the shot was released, the whistle blew because of a timeout called. And again, with the break in action, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us live and online tonight. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had some great views of this game. We've hit the 1,000 mark. I believe we're very close to the 1,000 mark in views. So thank you for tuning in and joining us, even if it's not live, and watching the game. As soon as the games are done, they're archived here on YouTube. So watch away, and we thank you for joining us. So the Oakville Rock have the ball along the boards. That's Challen Rogers with 45 seconds remaining, 17 on the shot clock, as they look to kill the clock here, playing catch around the perimeter. And with Brody Merrill picking the ball up, Dougie Jamieson goes to the bench. 20 seconds remaining here. And Randy Stotts with the ball as he's waving Frankie Brown onto the floor. 11 seconds remaining here as Jamieson and Stotts play catch. Stotts with another shot, and that one's tipped by a Rock defender. As Challen Rogers gets the ball, throws it all the way down, and we've got ourselves a bit of a fracas here into the corner. As tempers flare, as the buzzer sounds, and the Oakville Rock winning this one 7-6. So this best of 7 series is tied at 1 as the referees are trying to clear things out, and all the people leaving the ILA are getting a good look at the ruckus going on in the corner to the left of Nick Rose, who was fantastic tonight. Take care. Take care. Nick Rose was fantastic tonight as he spoiled a 4-goal effort by Randy Stotts tonight. And just like that, folks, we've got ourselves a 1-1 series and this best of 7 Major Series Lacrosse semifinal between the Oakville Rock and the Six Nations Pro-Fit Chiefs. With Game 3 coming up on Thursday night at the track in Oakville. With Game 4 back here Sunday night at the ILA at 7 o'clock. We will be there for that one. We'll be bringing you that one live and online Sunday at 7 o'clock, live from the ILA. But before that, these two teams will meet in game number 3 from the track on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. For Eric Height, this is Daryl Smart. Thanks for joining us live and online to Six Nations Chiefs Lacrosse. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.